Hello, today I'll tell you about Vladimir Lenin. First of all, who is Vladimir Lenin? Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, also known as Lenin, was a Russian revolutionary, politician, and political theorist. Born April 22, 1870 at Simbirsk, Russian Empire, died January 21, 1924 at Gorky, Soviet Union, best known for leading the Russian Revolution and establishing the Soviet Union. Lenin's parents were both well-educated and his father was a teacher. Growing up, Lenin attended school and was an excellent student. He also enjoyed the outdoors and playing chess. When Lenin was 16 years old, his father died. This made Lenin angry, and he said he no longer believed in God or the Russian Orthodox Church. Facts about Vladimir Lenin. Lenin's older brother, Alexander, a university zoology student, was arrested in March 1887 for participating in a bombing plot to assassinate Tsar Alexander III. Some of his co-conspirators begged for clemency and therefore had their sentences reduced. But Alexander initially refused to take that route, believing it would be insincere. Eventually, he sent an unrepentant letter to the Tsar in which he requested mercy for the sake of his mother. He was hanged that May. In August 1887, just a few months after his brother's death, 17-year-old Lenin entered Kazan University to study law. He was expelled that December, however, for taking part in a student protest. Though numerous attempts at readmission failed, he later enrolled as an external student at St. Petersburg University. Lenin completed his education there in 1891 and then briefly labored as a defense attorney. By that time, he had become enthralled by the work of famed communist thinker Karl Marx. Lenin was arrested for his political activities in 1895 and served more than a year in jail before being sent to Siberia for 3 years. Many of his contemporaries suffered the same fate, but in Lenin's case at least it wasn't all bad. It was in Siberia that he met and married his wife Nadezhda Krupskaya. Lenin's birth city of Simbirsk was renamed Ulyanovsky in his honor, his birth name. He took the name Lenin in 1902. This likely came from the river Lena, where he was exiled for 3 years in Siberia. Lenin founded and managed the communist newspaper called Iskra in 1900. Following a public speech in Moscow in August 1918, Lenin was shot and badly injured. The attack generated much sympathy for him amongst the public and boosted his popularity. But although he survived, he was seriously ill by the end of 1921, with some attributing his sickness to metal oxidation from the bullets that were lodged in his body from the assassination attempt. Lenin was plagued by ill health in the last few years of his life and suffered 3 strokes in the space of 2 years, 2 in 1922 and 1 in March the following year. After the third stroke, he lost his ability to speak. Although by May 1923 he appeared to be making a slow recovery, on the 21st of January 1924 he fell into a coma and died later that day. Lenin spent much of the 17 years after his exile in Siberia in Western Europe, during which time he became leader of the Bolshevik faction of the Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party. After Russia's last Tsar, Nicholas II, was overthrown in 1917, Lenin returned home and began working against the provisional government that had replaced him. Later that year he led a Bolshevik toppling of the provisional government, what has become known as the October Revolution, and a civil war ensued between the various combatant forces vying for power. By 1922, this war had mostly been won by the Bolsheviks. Thousands upon thousands of mourners streamed past Lenin's exposed coffin at his funeral, which took place a day after St. Petersburg was renamed Leningrad in his honor. A months-long embalming process then transpired, followed by the construction of a permanent mausoleum in Moscow's Red Square. Lenin's mummified body has been on display there ever since, except for a 4-year period during World War II when it was moved to Siberia. House of Romanov. Thanks for watching.